So we must be live if everything is correct. Welcome everyone. We still have just the starting of an hour. I hope you're doing well, and we'll just maybe wait for another minute or so to people to join. What I see now from my colleagues, there's still some people waiting, and we're going to start in a few seconds. In the meantime, I hope the weather in your place is better than we have here in Germany. I'm sure, Michael, do you have a snow in Bavaria?
Yes, but in Bavaria it's always sunny, It's the better part of Germany, so we enjoy a lot of sun and no snow out there, up in the hills. But it's fine. So it's a fantastic, nice, sunny day. I sat outside today, had a little espresso, so it was a fantastic day.
Oh my God! So I invite Bayern, Bavaria, because here in North Rhine-Westphalia we have kind of a mixture between snow and rain. It's like the worst kind of precipitation you could imagine. It's like, yeah, but it's all good so far. We are here safe and warm. So basically, maybe then I would just start with opening a short introduction. So my name is Renat. I'm one of the founders of Revos AI, a revenue operation system. Thank you very much for attending our webinar today. We have an amazing guest today, Michael. Michael is one of the key sales people I really admire and follow very, very closely. He is one of the founders also of a company called APOMAT, which was later on was merged with Easy Software, which is actually one of the better ventures portfolio companies here in Germany. An amazing story, amazing person. And Michael, thank you very much for giving some insights about Salesforce and ServiceNow return on investment today.
Thanks a lot, Renat, and thanks for having me. And thanks for the flowers, by the way. Now the level is set, so let's work on it. And I guess everyone joining today, how to get the best return on invest out of Salesforce and ServiceNow. It's probably an experience that I made in my role as a head of sales and the managing director at Easy Software, but many of you might have the same experience. You invest a lot in those platforms. You spend a fortune of money because everything changes when you have the right tool, yeah? And then you're asking, well, let's recalculate the ROI and you see, how does that really fit? And today we want to give you a short idea, a quick look how to get really investments in your platforms right done, that they really deliver a value, a measurable value, and a real return on invest. And well, burning money with platforms, $3.4 million is averagely spent on a platform like ServiceNow, like Salesforce, per larger company in the US. So that's a tremendous amount. I couldn't believe it when I researched this. And if you think of the sums that your company spends in terms of licenses, that's one part, but also consulting services you have several consulting service companies working on those platforms, trainings and all that. Yeah, I believe it's pretty close. And if you see which platforms are we seeing mostly, well, for sure, we see a lot of Salesforce with a market share of 23.8% in 2021 as a CRM system. Pretty clear, everyone's talking about it. Next one is SAP, Microsoft, and a lot of smaller cloud native, new startup fancy CRM systems. I think that's what we see. Interesting to see that really ServiceNow has a market share of more than 50% for professional services, for ticket systems. So that's an interesting share. But then you see a lot of Jira and all that. And for sure in marketing automation, we do see HubSpot. So let's talk about those three today, because I think this is pretty common. If you have another service management tool or marketing automation tool, I guess you'll find yourself as well. Myself, Michael Reiser, I did start using Salesforce with my first sales operations. I set up two startups, one in the IT business. Apiomat, Renat mentioned it, sold to Easy Software, and we globally introduced Salesforce as a platform as well. I used it in the real estate business as a CRM system. So I'm really deep into Salesforce, and I was always something in between. What a fortune we spend and what we get out. And this is something that I share today with you and as a consultant. Interesting is working on those platforms is a little bit like a war in the company between marketing. Marketing says we are using HubSpot, marketing automation. And by the way, it has a CRM as well. And it has a ticket system. So why aren't we kings of the world and using our fantastic platform? The same guys you have with sales, for sure. We all know there's not only Sales Cloud, there's Service Cloud, there's Pardot as marketing automation, there's Billing Revenue Cloud, there's Financial Force meanwhile. So the Salesforce guys are saying, we are a customer experience platform, and basically we rule the world. You can do everything. It's if you look at ServiceNow, what is it? It is a customer experience platform, and they say, well, like a CRM is no big problem for us, and we can do a lot more like all those others. So you have a little war in between. And how does it work usually with your platform? Those platforms are business related. They are very close in the business lines of business. ITs usually hold up. You don't understand. Usually that everyone's invited in the big KPI party.
Michael,
so
I'm sorry, Michael. I'm sorry. Just breaking. This internet connection is breaking up a bit. Can you just repeat like last 30 seconds? Sorry.
Okay. So welcome to the KPI party. All those departments build their KPIs in their tools. So say basically it's very simple. We are the best. We fulfilled our KPIs, our goals more than everyone else, and we measure. And if it's the sites and you experience that like a customer or like a victim of a company, and you see, oh, now they're trying to get their first resolution call KPI up, but they didn't help me. Now they're getting some KPIs up, and you feel it, and you feel some kind of uncomfortable. Or if they tell you, well, that's not our part, that's a different system, I can see it. So they don't solve your problem because of a diverse landscape in systems. And if you think of which KPIs you have, you are confronted as a customer. Basically, you don't care because you even don't understand in these days, is it still marketing? Is it already sales, or am I in the after sales? And if you think of that, you have a lot of KPIs being measured, but what do they tell you? A fast response time? Automated email, thank you, we received your request. Someone will work on it shortly. Well, perfect KPI, thank you very much. As a customer, I'm not really enthusiastic about it. And basically, we hate it, to be honest. As a customer, you hate those system barriers, you hate those KPI-driven things. And even as an employee, you hate it. If you start using these tools, managers start battling about which tool is the right one. And customers and employees are the victims of this war, and it doesn't get your company further. And you spend a lot of money into consulting, into new modules, into new features, into premium features to get ahead of the others. We are the cooler ones. We have the new thing. And basically you do all the same because it's all customer centricity. But the customer is not in the center. It's still your platform. And I think what happens, drastic picture, is you have churn because customers see they're moved through systems, through departments. They don't see the customer as one. They don't have one single experience, and they go. And it's the same with employees, because what do you want? as a customer? What's your expectation? You want one experience. And if you think of subscription business, if you think of ongoing business or recurring business, it's all one big cycle. So I only have one experience, and that's with your company. I don't have an experience with the marketing guy sending me nice material and white papers. I don't have a sales experience with the sales guy moving me through the sales cycle from SDR to opportunity and then closing the deal. I don't have an experience in the service. Then how was your onboarding, Michael? I have one single experience with this whole company. And I don't mind which system you're using. The same with employees. They are well motivated. They want to help customers. They want to solve problems. They want to do a beneficial work. They want to get great feedback. They want to have fun at work. And using all those tools, having your individual department's KPIs in mind, makes work a little bit sad, because you know what would really help the customer, but you're not allowed to do it because it's the others. It's in there too. You know, we don't have access there. That they are somehow linked, but I don't know how that works. So that's the issue. You provide bad experience, and the reason for that is indeed KPIs, because you look just as at a very small spot in an experience, but you don't see the whole thing, because it's not your KPI and it's not your measuring. Because your KPIs, you fulfilled fantastic. You had the best growth in the company last year. And so it's time to change the way we work with KPIs. And if you put on a holistic view, one of the essential KPIs we would recommend is a customer health score. What does that mean? It's already named. It's customer centric. It doesn't care about your response time. It doesn't care about your marketing content. It doesn't care about your salespeople. It cares about how the customer is doing well and how is he interacting. Is the content you're producing good? Is he interested in it? Is he opening it? Is he reading it? Or is he just clicking your spam mails away from your marketing automation? Hello, just want to follow up about the sales stuff, putting you through the process instead of allowing you to buy something, about the service that had a quick first solution rate. This is not our problem. We closed the ticket. Fantastic. Closed on first call. But having all those individual points of contact, all those individual experiences that a customer has together in one score, this is what we call the customer health score. And this is what drives you ahead. Why is that? Because it's your holistic view from a customer's point of view. It's not like a technical thing, you know. Usually, technically, the meal was perfect cooked. It tasted horrible, but it was technically perfect cooked. All our KPIs have been good. So it gives you a score from a customer point of view, how they would score your company, the experience they have with you. It doesn't matter in which system you are, because it combines the relevant KPIs in one single view. Whether you're in ServiceNow, in Salesforce, and all those tools provide great data, great insight, but you need to combine it, you need to bundle it over the whole customer journey. And you can do it company-wide, from marketing, sales, and service, to have one holistic view. And it's pretty simple to do that, I guess, Renat. You will give us a short view in detail what it means. But basically, what are the measures that you need for your customers? And there's cool insights about how you can use technology to make that happen. It's not about you defining the measures that make your customer happy. It's about understanding what is a good customer, what is a happy customer. Yes. Integration, Renat. How long have we been talking about integration? 20 years? Did it ever? No. So I think, how can you get your systems together within Revos? I think that's interesting. And then if you have done this simple 2 steps, and Renat will show us right away how that works, you need to understand what they mean, what happens. You need to play around a bit, probably do some experiments on it. And this is how it basically works. And if we have a look in this customer health scoring, give us a little bit more details on it.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Michael. I couldn't agree more. And in the industries, there's definitely a lot of understanding or initial understanding of this. Like, for example, in many companies, there's like a positions called customer success, which is actually more or less responsible for churn, responsible for expansion, and everything that goes after the sales. But this is like absolutely, and this is in our opinion, which we see also in the industry right now, it's completely wrong attitude, because there is no single department, just like you mentioned, which is responsible for churn and upsell and everything around it about the customer happiness, because the whole company is responsible for customer happiness. There was a very nice conversation recently on LinkedIn where the main topic was like, a customer churn is not a CSM problem, it's not a customer success problem, it's actually the whole company problem. And you can only measure and you can only understand it if you collect the whole degree of variety of different metrics. And this is also why we believe the current models of building a customer health score or calculating customer health score is not sufficient because of the complexity and variety of different sources. So the integration, just like you mentioned, it's a huge problem. It's still like after 20 years of all integration software, and I know what we're talking about. My previous company was an integration vendor. We have like over 120 variety of different connectors to really make sure that we are building a comprehensive model, which does not leave any detail. And second part of it is basically also the structure. So we actually did over 90 interviews with CSM customer success managers of world best companies who are really like addressing variety of different aspects of customer health score. For example, product and service usage and adoption, where we're speaking about like a wide adoption in terms of like a number of users who are using it, but also a depth of adoption, how well your product or your service is actually integrated into the customer workflow. Then the business value, the perceived business value, and also measurable business value, right? This is always a very good topic to start the conversation with a buyer and buyer person on the goals and what the people are usually trying to achieve with a product or with service. The customer engagement is also a very, very interesting metric where we are seeing a lot of predictive insights based on the numbers you can collect from a variety of different systems and sources, as well as one part is really not to be forgotten is the customer advocacy, especially in the world where we live right now, where a lot of buying decisions, if I'm choosing a microwave on Amazon, or actually choosing an ERP vendor for a multi-billion-dollar corporation, it's all based on references. It's all based on comparison and portals where I can find the reviews. And these reviews portals play a huge role in sales acceleration or actually sales prevention for the vendors. So the customer advocacy is a huge part of an exercise which is frequently forgotten, but can play a huge and amazing role in growing sales or growing retention of existing customers, as well as just churn. Right.
And Renat, we all know that because this was what the sales people have in their heart. They feel, I call this guy, I know he will speak well about us. And I think with tools and platforms where the process got ahead of that knowledge, it was all about how do we process it? How do we automate it? What's the stepping point? This individual knowledge of the salespeople, of the experienced salespeople, got a little bit of science, and the process is king. And with this data, with the customer health score, we get a little bit back to this knowledge, to these facts that we see that drive a customer, but we can make it in a modern way using those platforms, not as a process only tool that stops us from selling and having fun at selling, but it gives us more information how the customer feels, and it helps us preventing churn in now working on it and saying, hey, you didn't recommend it, you didn't read our stuff. And I guess the important thing is also the technology that we have in these days. Let's talk about artificial intelligence. Is there ChatGPT? No, it's about something different. It's really, you can use technology to get this health score and to make it intelligent.
Absolutely, yes. Absolutely, yes. And this is also one of the interesting new developments which we see in this area, especially even if we start with data integration. The an untold truth about data integration that every company runs into is actually a perceived and realistic data quality, right? Even after the data is integrated, the data quality can make this data completely useless or absence of data quality, let's say, for any reasonable analysis. And this is actually one of the areas where we see an advancement in machine learning and machine ML models could potentially significantly improve and lower the burden, how we can actually work with a data of a lower quality, as well as how we can actually work with the data on more a semantic approach and more semantic level, and not only on syntax level, where actually the understanding of data, and I think the ChatGPT is a very good word, right? If we're talking about even large language models, so ChatGPT, they have no idea what they're talking about, what it is talking about, but it's more about words and sentences, how they all come together. And even from this perspective, the usage of machine learning for health scoring and actually providing a predictive health scoring, which may be like obvious for a person if a person looks on a graph, but for a machine, it's maybe not that obvious without this machine learning exercise. And what we see right now is definitely that this customer health score, and this is actually a very nice transition to customer happiness circle, really making a lot of changes in the companies.
And I guess this is what it's all about, like keeping the circle up. It's, it's the endless circle. You get happy, you buy more, you use it more, you start getting happier, you recommend it, you get closer, and your health score increases. And this customer happiness circle enables you to grow. And it enables your company to grow with better profits, with better revenues. To do it, you need to understand what's your customer health. And then you can invest really in areas that impact the customer health score, and not in your vendor telling you improve. It's not the process, it's about the data and about the experience of the customer. And the customer happiness, the customer health score is something that definitely helps you to get there. And I guess, Renat, if someone's now saying, well, sounds nice, what to do? How can I get to understand a little bit more? How can Revos, probably you also have an interest in selling something or in helping somebody who does not have the data right now. What can we get? How does Revos help?
Definitely, yes. I think that we are actually opening our platform to the world after the very much time and resources we invested in development and also testing with the first customers. And we're actually starting a significant campaign, like starting from the next month, where we will be giving away an experience so that the users can definitely, like, self-service experience with our platform and try to build this customer health score models just like we discussed today. And we actually spend a lot of time building in the understanding and also the best practices out of the interviews which we did so far into the model, so that every user of a platform will not only be able to integrate very quickly with the data sources presented and available, like connectivity to Salesforce, to ServiceNow, and to all of different tools, but also immediately start with the ready-made templates, which includes all of the know-how, all of the best practices we've seen so far in the industry, to build a customer health scoring models which is by factor 10 better than what was existing before, either in some Excel files or maybe in some very simple tools which are currently available on the market. And I just encourage every person just to drop me an email on the email which you see there, or just to see on our website. We are opening it very, very soon, and looking forward to speaking to you.
And if you return to our bottom line of this webinar, saying the return on invest, how to improve the return on invest. I think if we reduce churn, if you get existing customers to spend a little bit more, if we get them to increase their customer lifetime value, then an investment in your platform makes a lot of sense. And if you think about the mechanics of this, how much return on invest would you get on a spending instead of improving a process a little bit further? And that's why we invite you, really contact Renat at this email, contact me if you're interested in getting more about Salesforce and HealthScore. So this is how we can help you really understand what drives the return on invest instead of the next part of the platform, the next module, the next piece that your vendor tells you to buy and to get up your 3.4 million up to 4 million. So really do the right things the right way and do it customer centric. That's what we would like to invite you.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks, Michael. It was very, very, very interesting presentation. And basically, I think we can just have a look on our time. We are just in time, so 26 minutes right now. Is there just any questions available from the chats which we have right now? Just looking at my colleagues. Yeah, no, we don't have any questions. So the emails are there. You know where to find us. You know how to find me or Michael. We're looking forward to hear from you. Just if you have any questions afterwards, just ping us on LinkedIn or via email or via website. And looking forward to speaking to you. Thanks, Michael.
Have a fantastic afternoon. Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.